Michael, what was the difference first half to second half when you guys really had them locked in and things kind of changed?
Oh, they made some plays. They did. They made some plays on us. I got to watch the film to know exactly what happened. I was kind of on the field, going with the flow of the game. I don't really know exactly what they were doing, scheming us. Maybe I'm not sure, but they got some plays on us, and from there they're getting a little momentum, and they just found a way to get back in the game.
You guys feel like you had it locked in, up 16-0?
I mean, we weren't complacent or anything. We came in halftime confident, going out there. Let's go win this ball game. Then again, we get out there and you can't let teams, especially big road games like this, you can't let teams get momentum, because then their defense kind of came alive and offense started moving the football, and you see the results.
Michael, what happened on that play where Deshaun just seems to escape and find Tyron Jones for a bit?
Yeah, I got to see that play also. I think just overall, not a good play by our defense. I don't know whether it was miscommunication. I'm not sure. I got to kind of see it. He was able to find a way to get out, found Taiwan, and from there they just made a big play.
Mike, you guys have been a couple plays away from beating some of the best teams in the league this year. Is this just kind of where you guys are as part of a learning curve of a younger team?
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. We feel like we could play with anybody, and I think it's definitely we can play with anybody. But season's over. You can talk about it and whatnot, but we know we had a good football team. This whole time we knew we had a good football team. Coming to this game, we wanted to win. For each other, and just not able to do so.
When you're walking off the field,
Three-game losing streak to end the season going to be during the offseason as you kind of
decompress?
decompress?
Three games really means nothing. We wanted to get in the playoffs. That was a big goal. We got in. Big important game here. We wanted to win. Honestly, I forgot about the regular season already. It's a playoff game.
when you're walking off the field, is a part of you thinking, I can't believe we didn't win this game? You were
100%. It's tough. It's tough. You go through OTAs, with each other, go all through the season. This team is built on family, built on love. We really genuinely like to be around each other, and the life of an NFL player the roster changes so much each and every year. And as I'm going into my 8th season, so I realize that's. Once you get an opportunity with a good football team, you got to take advantage. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do so. We're going to learn a lot from this football game. Yeah, we will. Especially young guys will understand, what playoff football is about. But we got to execute on the stretch and not let a good team like that get momentum.
You know how precious these moments are with how long you've been in the league. What's the key to kind of getting it back the next year and kind of not letting
I think feeding off this. You got to go into offseason and let this be the motivation to for you to grind each and every day. I've been a part of some crazy losses in the past, and this is just going to be a sour taste until we get back and honestly next August. It's going to be a nasty taste, and so you got to. It's life of an NFL player. One team at the end is crowned winner. 12 teams making the playoffs. Everybody, I feel like everybody else, all 31 teams, had that nasty taste, and that's why winning the championship is so hard in this league.
What do you think Josh can take away from this game?
Josh is Josh. Josh is a stud. He knows that. We know that. We ride with Josh. We've been saying that since he got in the building. That boy's he's a football player. We love him. He's a playmaker. You see him out there taking shots, and that boy just keeps fighting. Found a way to get us in overtime after the defense kind of gave him too much. But Josh is the man.
So Mitch, what's the healing process for you after a loss like that?
Yeah, I think it'll be nice to spend some time with the family. There's nothing really you can do to kind of ease that kind of pain. It's such a tight game, and it doesn't go your way you want it to. And I'm real proud to be a part of this group. Real proud to be part of this team. And the unfortunate thing is that was the last time that this team with this group of dudes is going to go out and battle together. So definitely have a lot of fond memories of this year. And after a tough loss like that, just spending some time with family and getting home and seeing the wife for a little bit.
What made this group special?
I think resiliency and the willingness to grow. I can only speak for the offensive side. And the defense was always putting us in great positions, and the offense just kind of maturing into the fact that eliminating mistakes in critical times and just kind of growing together as a unit and understanding that each day you kind of going to work with a purpose.
Is it hard not to look back at that game and say, if only we did this and we did that?
You can do that for any game, right? But it's definitely kind of amplified in the playoffs. There's no more learning. There's no more games to learn from. This is the end of the season, so it definitely hurts a little bit more. And wish we could have brought that one home yesterday.
Mitch, I'm sorry. What's the next step for Josh here? What's the next step for Josh? I mean, he's admittedly said, I'm learning on the job, and what's the next step for him?
I mean, we all still have so much to learn. I think the next step for him is taking some time, letting his body heal, letting his mind kind of decompress, and then coming back with just a fire that he's such a competitive dude. If you look at Josh from game 1 to game 17, which was yesterday, the amount that he's grown just in the huddle, his presence, the calmness, the fire that he brings, it was special. So if he can make that jump from game 1 to game 17, it's going to be tremendous to see what he can do next year.
You mentioned his competitive fire. Is maybe the challenge for him to balance the competitive fire with?
We don't want him to be different at all.
Okay.
We don't want him to change that at all. He'll just learn to hone it, and we don't want him to lose that competitive spirit at all, because it just absolutely brings the nature out in everyone else, and it's fun to be a part of.
This whole line was thrown together, obviously, all new guys. Most are back next year, but Quentin's going to be a free agent.
Right.
What did he mean to you guys as a line, and how important would it be to have him back?
Yeah, we'd love to have him back. He deserves to get paid this offseason. The guy started every game. I don't know if he missed a snap. Just a great person to be around, smart as hell. Just made this offensive line so much better. Helped me out a lot, and I owe a lot to Quentin Spain, and I have a lot of respect for him as a person and as a football player.
How tough is it for young players to get out of trying to do too much, which sometimes might be the case with Josh?
Well, I think everyone can do that, and especially in big games. You can lose yourself in what works. I think every year you're in the league, you learn a little bit more, and you learn how to, to kind of hone your craft and be a pro. So we're all doing that, and I think seeing that next year is going to be really exciting for Josh.
Players might change, coaches might change.
Right.
What's your thought on Daboll talking to the Browns potentially?
This league with personnel and coaches, it's just the nature of the business. He deserves everything. The accolades he's gotten, he deserves this opportunity, and if he gets it, it's a business. You know what I mean? And we grow these exceptional relationships with these coaches and players. It's tough to see them go, but you have to take in consideration families and stuff like that. So whatever happens this off season. A lot of guys, this is a good thing. He's getting an opportunity. So if he takes it, I'm happy for him. If not, we get him back again. We'll see, you know what I mean? It's a lot down the road that I can't control, and we'll just kind of roll with the punches.
How bright is the future for this team?
Very, and I think we just have to keep that competitive spirit, and we can regress and saying we're comfortable with where we are, or kind of go into this offseason with a little bit of fire, and I think it's the latter.
Mitch, is there such a thing, the pain and frustration that was felt by this team, knowing that he could have done better? Can that pain be used in a positive way?
Yeah, that's a good question. Absolutely. Well, I think you have one or two ways to do it, right? You can kind of dig a hole and crawl in it, or you can kind of learn from it. And it's easier to crawl into a hole and say, well, it's not my fault, or all this stuff. But the truth of the matter is, I can say there's a handful of plays I'd like back that probably could have changed the course of the game. Learn from those mistakes. But these first few weeks, just take a step back, be thankful for these group of guys, this team, and your family, and then kind of go from there.
Bills fans are hurting with you through this. What would you say to Bills Mafia right now?
This is my first year here, and it's been an exceptional group of people to be around. Such passion. It makes coming to work fun. It makes you feel like you're part of something special. And I hope they don't lose that fire and they lose that spirit, because we do appreciate them, and I know they're hurting after yesterday. And we do it for our families, we do it because it's our job, but we also do it for the city and organization and those people. So I hope they know that.
Mitch, you were part of the rebuild from last offseason. Bean has shown a great ability to rebuild and use his money and draft picks wisely. How bright do you see what you guys have going moving forward?
Yeah, I think Brandon is one of the best in the business. He brought me on, so I can say that. But he's just got, he just knows football. He knows what kind of player he wants to bring in here. He knows the culture that Coach McDermott's trying to build, and it's a very tight-knit group. And I'll let him do all the heavy lifting this offseason, but I know he'll make some exceptional choices and bring some people in that'll really kind of keep this trajectory going up.
Frank said that he thinks this team should be on top of the division the next few years. What are your expectations moving forward?
My expectations are, you got to come in and you got to work for it. I think Frank has something there. I think we have the opportunity to, but it's not going to be given to us. We got to work for it, and I know there's a lot that we can work on. I know there's a lot I can work on, but right now I'm just going to hang out with my wife and kick back, drink some coffee in the morning. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I appreciate it.
Any favorite memories from the season?
Yeah, you're welcome. I think that driving into that first home game for Cincinnati, it took like an hour to get in, because the people were just, like you said, Bills Mafia was just buzzing. The people were partying. It was like 9 in the morning, and it was hot. It was kind of a hotter day, but people were showing out and having a good time, and that was a good memory, and I had a lot of fun with that one.
How have you reflected, if at all, yet?
It's hard not to look at the game and see all the little plays you want back. Little mistakes here and there you think could have changed the game, but it is what it is. The Texans have a really good team. So I think I'm just going to let this feeling kind of fuel me going forward to the offseason, and kind of help it make me stronger going into the next season.
The first season as a rookie is very different than a lot of other players. You get drafted and you come to Buffalo and it's go, go, go. Is it weird to think that it's over now and you're headed into your first offseason in the NFL?
Yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling. Just after being on the go basically since January 1st of last year. I'm not the type of person that necessarily wants off time. Part of me wants to come in today and start fixing the mistakes and start working out again. But it'll be good to rest and recover a little bit and get just my mind right to come back to work in April or whenever workouts start.
How do you think you've grown as a player in your first season?
I could just tell there's a few little things here and there. Just timing with Josh, getting his trust, learning how to use the right leverage blocking. That was one of my big emphasis coming into this year. Just the blocking aspect of my game. I think Lee helped me a lot with that too. But there was just little things I was happy to see progress, but there's definitely a lot of things I still need to work on.
Who are some of those older players that really mentored you in the tight ends room on the offense in your first season?
I couldn't have asked for a better tight end room. Lee Smith and Tyler Croft have been amazing. I kind of came in with no expectations of having an older guy that's going to come down and help the younger guys, because I've heard a lot of different places, the older guys aren't willing to help. But it's been just a blessing having them in the room. And I've been very thankful for their leadership this year.
What did you learn about your first season in the NFL?
It's a long season. Obviously I wanted it to be longer, but and everyone's good. Every week you got to prepare like you're playing, the possible Super Bowl champs, because everyone has talent. But I think I'm just going to take that feeling of knowing it's a long season, knowing how my body feels at this point of the season and next season too.
The feeling that you have right now coming off of the loss when you guys were expecting to win in the playoffs, how is that going to fuel you going into the offseason?
Like I said earlier, it's just this feeling of I think everyone on our team has a similar feeling of, that loss is really tough, especially as competitors. You hate losing. It's just a really bitter feeling because you can't really, play again until whenever our next game is. But I think that motivation is going to be really key for a lot of us.
What do your plans for the offseason look like right now?
So I'm going to go back home to Nashville for a little bit, see some friends and family. I'm planning on going to train out in California a little bit with Josh. I actually trained with him a little bit this offseason before we even knew we were going to be teammates. So I think that'll be good for us to continue working on that timing and chemistry a little bit.
Is there anything else that comes to mind that you want to work on in the offseason to get better at heading into next season?
Yeah, one of my biggest things is just going to be seeing the ball into the tuck. There were a couple bad drops I had this year that I need to focus on. They were particularly easy, and I think that was what kind of messed me up, was looking upfield before I actually caught the ball. So it's going to be a lot of eye work and eye discipline during catches.
Brian Daboll on the offense that he ran, how did you think you fit into that this season? He said a lot about how you are a smart tight end for just being a rookie, the way that you were able to pick up blocking and also having a part in the passing receiving game.
I really enjoyed this year with Coach Daves. He's been awesome. Just the versatility that we have on offense was pretty fun to be a part of. Like, I could split out wide one play and then come in the box the next play and pull for a linebacker. And that's something I pride myself on. That's something that I want to be really good at, is doing both the running routes and the blocking. And I think, as a tight end, you got to be able to be good at both. So I think that was really fun this year to be able to do a little of both of those things. And I think it's going to be nice going into next season, already kind of knowing the offense and being comfortable with just the playbook and not having to learn it from square one. So,
on the topic of Daboll, there's reports out he's going to be interviewing with the Cleveland Browns. What do you think would make him a good coach, and what kind of loss would that be for the Bills?
Obviously, it'd be a huge loss for us. I don't look into job interviews and all that stuff going on off the field. But he's an incredible man. He's an incredible coach. So whoever gets him would be lucky to have him. Obviously, I hope we keep him here. But I really enjoyed getting to know him a little bit more as the season went on. And I think he's obviously a pretty great coach.
What are some of those qualities that make him a great coach?
Just his passion for the game. I mean, you can visibly see him, like, before games. It's almost like he's preparing to play like we are. And he puts every ounce of passion and love he has into this game, and we can feel it, and he loves the guys. He's definitely a player's coach. So it's been really fun to kind of come alongside him this year.
Were there any conversations you had with any of the players or coaching staff last night or this morning that stick out to you?
I talked with Lee a lot on the plane. He just talked about, resting your body, getting your mind right for a long season to come up next year. And he talked about kind of what we talked about and letting this feeling fuel me and motivate me. Just going forward into whatever workout I have this offseason, and the OTAs and the mini camp. Because the offseason is really a grind, but it's all going to be worth it when we, hopefully get back to this spot next year and we can keep going.
How good does it kind of make you feel knowing that a lot of this team is coming back for next season? It's not like this roster is falling apart. A lot of the core group of guys will be back, and you can build on that chemistry.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. We have a really young team, and I think there's a lot of pieces that'll be here again next year. And that chemistry only started this year, and I think it's going to be, even better next year.
It kind of started rolling things their way, I think, in the second half that allowed them to climb back into it.
They made a couple plays. Football goes that way. We just got to key in, lock in on assignment.
I know you were spotting Deshaun some of the time today. It looked like he was more apt to. He said, "I'm just going to run a little bit more in the second half." Would you agree with that? It looked like he was more willing to take off in the second half. I don't really know. I just got to go back, look at it, see what happened. How did you guys kind of keep the right frame of mind with all the ups and downs that this game had? How did you kind of keep your unit, on the level when the thing was going haywire, sideways, blocking the read up?
You just got to take it play at a time. This game going to have a lot of ups and downs. So, a lot of ups and downs today. You just got to stay focused and stay the course.
With that play that probably had a few of those in his career. I just wondering, you just got to take the lap and just say, put on your lap. You really did everything you could to get to him.
I mean, I didn't see the play all the way through, so I just got to go back and see exactly what happened. You know, made a play, but, you know, it's got to be better on that side.
Do you guys feel like they just made more plays than you, or do you think you guys left some?
I mean, it's hard for me to say without looking at it. You know, I think, you know, I don't question any of the guys on this team. I know everybody left it all out there, so I don't think anybody left anything out there.
And then, when you give up the third and 18, is that one of those rip your guts out kind of?
Say it again.
When you gave up the third and 18 on that last drive that kept in mind, is that one of those rip your guts out moments? Because that just really can't happen.
Yeah, I mean, we had the opportunity, you know, to come off the field potentially. So, I mean, you know, it happened. We just got to be better.
What happened on that play? I heard some say that the play clock might have expired. Some guys might have noticed that and it wasn't flagged. Was that something that you noticed?
Yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, I got to go back and look at it.
You had a shot to, I think, bring the guy down just short of the sticks, but a difficult open field tackle. What do you remember about that?
I mean, guy was kind of diving, so, I mean, it really wasn't a, you know, real, you know, live, I mean, like a head-on tackle. But, I mean, you know, the referees made the call, so that's just what we got to deal with.
In overtime, I mean, you guys come on the field, you sent them 3 and out. Your first possession. How were you guys feeling after coming off the field on that quick 3 and out that you got? I mean, you guys climb back into the game, you force overtime, and you force them 3 and out. How did you feel after?
I mean, that's what we talked about as a defense, just to go out there and, you know, we was up first, so we had to get a 3 and out, and, you know, that's what we did. We went out there and did it. So, I mean, that's what happened.
I don't know. I'm going to have to watch the film. I don't know much right now, other than we had some few penalties that hurt us. I don't know. They made more plays than we did down the stretch.
What was the feeling after you guys were able to force overtime? What was the mood on the sideline like before that overtime period and having to climb back into it?
Our feeling was it was our game to win. It didn't work out that way.
You're a veteran leader on this team. What's your message? And I know this is pretty wrong, but what do you tell the guys who maybe haven't been in these positions before?
I mean, guys fought their ass off. Man, that's all you can ask. We're right there. We didn't make enough plays today, but you know, just 1 or 2 plays goes the other way, we win this game. So it's frustrating, but we're right there. We'll come back.
Does it just feel like there was some? Do you feel like there was something to be made, or do you feel like Houston just made more?
There were definitely some to be made. They made them, and we didn't.
We've seen that you guys go toe-to-toe with a lot of good teams this season. Is this just kind of a learning curve for this team to make those few extra plays to come out on top?
That's the only thing it can be. We didn't win, so we just got to learn from it and move on.
What about the job Motor did for you guys with the balanced effort that he
Yeah,
had?
he's been doing that all year. Wouldn't expect anything less. Such a young guy, he played that well even in this big game. So it's really nothing to him. This is what he was born to do, so he does it no matter what the stakes are, and he'll be a good player for a lot of years in this league.